Hey, everybody. Welcome to our podcast for the love of dog. I'm PJ Rosh. We're here with Christine Smith, and we have a very special guest in our studio, Caroll Schwartz. Welcome, Caroll.
Thank
Glad to
you.
have you here. So, Caroll is one of our volunteers. She kind of does it all. She was a foster, then she foster failed, which, if anybody doesn't know, that's a good thing. That means you kept the dog, which that was Sweet Diamond back in the day. And then she has, so she's adopted a couple times. She also has another dog that she adopted from us. And she donates, and she volunteers. So she does dog walking and she handles all of our scheduling for our dog walkers. So welcome, Caroll.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Well, first question I wanted to ask is how you got involved in the dog walking.
Well, I really fell into it. I had no intention of doing that. As PJ said, I was a foster fail, so I originally fostered a dog, and I think within 24 hours decided to adopt Diamond. And then I got involved as a volunteer. My husband and I, Rick as well, was volunteering then for special events. We'd help out with those and dog transport because we both work from home, and so we were able to do things during the day. That's what I thought was going to be the extent of it, but there's a group chat for everyone who's a volunteer or a foster or adopter for a little red dog. And on that group chat, I kept seeing one of the senior dog walkers pleading with people to please come walk Rhino. Somebody please come walk Rhino. Had no idea who Rhino was, but nobody was responding. And I thought, well, I have the time in the mornings. And I looked him up and he was 15 minutes away from me. So I said, okay, I'll go walk this dog. Little did I know that that was going to be the most challenging dog that I have ever walked. And I was very much a novice then. I'd been walking my Chihuahua Diamond, but that was about the extent of my dog walking experience. The little red dog is wonderful about training, giving you basic training and safety training and things like that. But I just hadn't practiced it very much and I had never been involved with big dogs. So I arrived to meet Rhino, who was very well named. He was steel gray, about 100 pounds, a big pit mix. And if you can imagine a 100-pound toddler with all the self-control of a toddler on a leash, that was what Rhino was. He was wonderful with people. He loved people. He was very reactive with dogs, and I didn't really know how to handle that. So I think on my, fifth outing with him or something around the neighborhood, a little dog barked at him from behind a gate, and the next thing I knew, he was dragging me across the grass on my stomach.
Oh my God.
But I didn't deter me. I wasn't hurt. And I went for some additional help from a senior volunteer, Quincy, who's moved away now, but she was fabulous. And she taught me everything I needed to know about walking big dogs. And I've never had a problem after that. And Rhino got adopted by a couple that really knew what they were doing. And they slimmed him down and trained him. And he ended up having a great life.
That's amazing. That was one of the things that I was thinking about. We get volunteers apply, and I think they get a little bit deterred when we tell them that we have a walking clinic. But it's important for
It's
people
important.
to understand how to walk different dogs. I mean, shy dogs, fearful dogs, reactive dogs, big dogs, small dogs. So it was helpful to hear your experience and the fact that you hadn't walked a big dog before, and having the help made you feel more confident in doing so. So one
It
of the
really
things,
I'm sorry, it just really took a couple of tips
yeah.
from Quincy, like you're giving him too much leash, choke up on the leash a little bit, and you'll have more control. It just like instantly made a difference. So I
Hmm.
just needed those extra tips, and I pass those along now to the volunteers when I give them an orientation. I teach them the things that I've been taught.
That's awesome. And then also, equipment and using the proper equipment. So I'm sure you can talk about that a little bit. Why, we might use martingale on one dog, but we might need a prong collar on another dog.
Do you want me to talk about that?
Sure.
I don't know. I'm not an expert by any means, but we do walk. I do walk two little dogs together, Max and Ollie. They're absolutely adorable. Everybody loves them, and they are so small that they both have little martingales. But the martingale will close up a little bit. It looks like just a regular collar, but it will close up a little bit if Ollie, who likes to pull, starts to pull. And it just reminds him, hey, don't do that. But the bigger dogs, you really don't have control, no matter how well controlled they are normally, how well they walk. If there's some kind of an incident and somebody approaches them or something stirs them up, you're doing much better with a prong collar. And I had no idea what prong collars were like. I think a lot of people have a misconception that they're sharp or something. They're not. It's no discomfort. It's just something that really, the dog can feel it and it really stops them. And so that made a huge difference too when I was walking the big dogs.
Mhm. I do think a lot of people get the wrong idea about prongs, and if they're not used properly, yes, it can cause, it
I
can
use them on
be,
my dogs. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it can hurt a dog
I
if it's
think
not used properly.
it really is just gives them some pressure, which kind of mimics how dogs talk to each other. If you've
Hmm.
seen a mom correct a puppy, she'll kind of nip him in the neck, so it's these sensitive points, and it helps them realize not to rip your arm out of the socket because they see a squirrel. That's all it is used for, and they're tools. And even when we have a dog on a prong collar, we try to eventually graduate them to a martingale. Some dogs can get there, some dogs can't. Rhino is one that's probably still using a prong collar, and there's nothing wrong with Rhino. He's just very excited, and he had a tough start to life. He was like just chained up on a patio for the first like year of his life. So he wants to get out there and go and see everything. So but yeah, he can. He just needs a little guidance, and the prong is a tool that gives him those boundaries. That's all.
And he needed a lot more exercise. There was a very nice older couple that had him, and that was the reason we needed walkers. And maybe if I can address that for a minute, like why do you have walkers if they're being fostered in home? Well, some people work during the day and they need a midday break, and we need a walker to come, take them on a midday walk so they can have a little relief. We have one wonderful person that's in a wheelchair, so he can't walk his dogs. So we don't need a whole lot of them. Most foster homes they can walk them themselves, but we do have a little squad of walkers that can address those things and help out.
And what would you say to people to encourage other people that are thinking about, because I think a lot of people think, oh, I don't have, hours a week to walk dogs, but sometimes all you need is an hour a week. So depending on the situation and the foster and the dog's needs, but what would you say to encourage other people that are thinking about volunteering to walk dogs?
That really is it. It's about an hour a week. We don't even have a set schedule that you must follow. Like you don't have to agree that you will walk them every single week for an hour. That's why I keep the schedule of the walkers. I just keep track of who can do what which week. So if somebody's going to be on vacation, we just fill in with a different walker. But the commitment is really, if you can think of it as something you want to regularly do for a fairly long period of time. I've been doing it for 4 years now because I love it. I didn't know I was going to love it, but most of our volunteers have been with us for quite a long time. But even if you were saying, I'm going to commit to this for at least 6 months or at least a year, that's the mindset you want to have, not just, well, I'll see how it goes. Most of these people love dogs and they have dogs and they know what they're getting into going into it. But we have all kinds of shifts. There are dogs that need a morning walk and there are dogs that need a midday break. And we definitely need people on the weekends. So even if you have a full-time job Monday through Friday, definitely need help on the weekends as well. So each walk is about 30 minutes plus your driving time. So it is about an hour commitment. And quite a few people do 1 or 2 shifts a week because they love it, but you don't have to. So it's really, really flexible.
Yeah, I think you raise a good point. Like I always tell people, you're not an indentured servant, but I will say that we do rely on you. So if you say you're going to help, we
Yeah.
do expect you to show up. And sometimes it really is just a fill-in, like you said. Like maybe sometimes we don't have somebody on a Sunday. If you can do a Sunday, even if it's just once or twice a month, that could be really helpful, to a dog that may not be getting out, which
Exactly.
you don't want to hold it for 8 hours, so they don't want to hold it for 8 hours. So, but yeah. So how did you get involved with us, Caroll? How did we find you?
I our family dog passed away, and it was really, really heart-wrenching because I'd never had a dog before. It was my husband's dog, and I knew her for quite a few years. And when she passed away, I was like, I am never getting a dog again. I don't ever want to go through this pain again. But I thought, but I could foster a dog. I wouldn't be so attached to it. You know, I still want to be around dogs and I still want to help. So I just started going online and searching. And I think one of the little red dogs really caught my attention. And I thought, what a, sweet face. I've got to help out here. So I got in touch, emailed, and got an instant reply. And they said, well, that would be great, but there's another dog that needs to be out of the apartment today. I went, oh, okay. So it was Halloween. Could you go pick her up today? And so my husband and I drove on Halloween and met Diamond, and she was on my lap on the way home, and she was the best dog I had ever seen ride in a car. And she looked over her shoulder at me, and my husband looked at me and said, I know we're keeping her, right? Yep. So that's,
She knew she was your dog.
I became a foster fail within 24 hours. But really, I was just scrolling through different rescues, and I was under the impression, as a lot of people are, that you must have some kind of a facility. You know, where's the shelter that I can go walk dogs at? But actually, what I don't think I would do very well at a big shelter with the dogs barking and the sadness of what happens there sometimes. I love the fact that they're in homes. I love the fact that, you're in a quiet neighborhood, you're in a family home setting, and you really know the dog. The person who teaches you about the dog before you start walking it knows it. So it's really, to me, it's a lot nicer situation for the walkers and volunteers than even going to a big shelter, a big city shelter or something.
We want to let people know, if you are interested in volunteering, just to go to our website, www.thelittlereddog.org, and click forms. And there you can find our volunteer form, and we will reach out to you, and happy to hear, what kind of availability you have and how you can get involved.
So, Caroll, you also have a career as a certified dream builder coach. So, do you want to talk about that for just a couple of minutes, and maybe talk about your vision workshop that's coming up?
Oh, sure. Well, yes, I've been a personal success coach for 22 years. And within the last couple of years, I've been doing this vision workshop to help people reach a big dream or figure out what their big dream is if they're at a crossroads in their life and they want something more. It's absolutely free. There's no obligation. It's 1 hour on Zoom. And the next one, as it shows on the flyer, is this next Tuesday, the 11th of August at 5:30 p.m. Pacific. And so they could be anywhere in the country or other countries and join us. And it's really fun because on the workshop, you get to create, in a short amount of time, a vision for a dream that you might want to pursue. And then you get to decide if you want to do anything about it. And if you do want to do something about it, I can maybe help you figure out what your first steps would be.
It was fun.
Yep.
I learned a lot, and I got some solidity on my some future goals. So I recommend it. And yeah, and then she might even talk to you about volunteering. No, I'm just kidding. She's not going to do that. She's going to talk to you just about the workshop. But anyway, thank you so much, Caroll, for joining us. We really appreciate you. All right.
Thank you, Caroll.
Thanks for what you do.
Thanks.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Let's talk about Rescue Rufus.
Look at that cute face. So
He is
proud in
cute,
his
and
hat.
I love his little hat. It's so cute.
I know.
All right, so
So,
talk about Rufus.
yeah, so Rufus, I saw the story, and as you guys know, if you've been watching the podcast, we always like to have a happy point in our podcast. Not that Caroll walking dogs wasn't a happy one, but we have two this week. So Rufus was rescued in Ohio from a neglect situation, and he arrived at with a group called Animal Charities. And despite him being a wonderful dog, he waited nearly 2 years for a family. Um, and there was a group of firefighters with the Liberty Fire Department. See, you can see how thin he was there. Geez. They had begun kind of as a joke talking about adopting a dog for the fire station. And one of the things they were talking about was, you know, being firefighters, they're dealing with a lot of hard things a lot of time, the things they see, the things they have to experience, through their job. So they had talked about getting a firefighter or a dog for the fire station. And when they met Rufus, they immediately thought he would be a perfect fit. So he became the newest member of Station 35 and gained the whole firehouse as his family. So now he gets to greet visitors. He hangs out with the firefighters, provides them comfort during after difficult calls. I think for a lot of them, they're a lot of firefighters have shifts days in a row. So having a dog to come back to their temporary home and provide them comfort was a huge benefit for them. So I think the takeaway in Rufus finding this family is, again, long-term shelter or rescue dogs aren't waiting necessarily because there's something wrong with them. They're just waiting for the right family to find them. And I was really happy to see that Rufus gained such a big family.
That's awesome. And I think people don't really think about like our first responders and how much they go through, right? Sometimes they try their best and it is just a devastating, day that can't save somebody or whatever. So, and we certainly understand that in dog rescue, let me tell you. It's really hard. So I think, I'm so glad for Rufus. It was really heartbreaking to see how thin he was, but and he waited 2 years, but look at that. Look at that face and his cute little helmet. So
I know.
that is definitely good news of the week. I don't know. Are you guys tired of hearing about Charlotte? I am too. I wish that somebody would just foster her so we don't have to talk about her needing a fosterer anymore. I mean, she really needs out of where she is. It's not necessarily an ideal situation. Luckily, she hasn't had to go back to boarding or anything like that, but it's just, we really do need to move her. And just meet, if you're interested, just meet her. If it's not a good fit, if you don't think you can handle it. But she is a really good dog. And I think Christine's talked about it before. She's good with cats. She's crate trained, potty trained. She's good on the leash. She can be reactive, but honestly, like Caroll said, we can show you how to, mitigate that and figure it out. So it's not like, she's going to turn into Cujo and, kill you or somebody else. It's just, some tips that we could give you. So she's a beautiful girl, absolutely sweet. She really, really, really deserves a break. So if you can foster Charlotte, go to littlereddog.org, click on forms, and you'll see the dog foster form, and we would be so grateful.
Or adopt Charlotte.
Even better.
Even better.
Same area, just do dog adoption instead of
Yes.
dog foster. So we're introducing the Little Red Dog off-leash dog training, so you can do it from the comfort of your home. It's on Patreon. We'll put a link in the comments, I think is what we're going to do. I don't know. Sam takes care of that. It magically will be appeared, and so you can sign up. It's $10 a month, and for a limited time, that's the lowest. We have membership tiers, so depending on how much help you need with your dog and training, there's different levels. But for $10 a month, for a limited time, you have access to our 25-day training situation. So it's a training challenge. I can't talk this morning. I'm sorry. I haven't had enough coffee. I need to have more coffee with my squirrel cup. But anyway, so it's 25-day challenge. It's 5 minutes a day for 25 days. You'll get you'll get the thing fed to you. It's a video. It's really easy. Then we ask you to try it. As you go through it, you'll get different badges and things like that. So you did it, which part. And at the end of the day, you can share it if you want to. And we would love to know how it is. Give us feedback. But I think this is a really great way for you to practice. We are all busy. I know no one has time, but everybody can find 5 minutes a day. And, it helps your dog be calm, focused. You'll just have a better relationship with your dog. You'll probably have better relationship with everybody because once your dog is dialed in, your life gets better. So please join. It's on Patreon. Like I said, it's $10 a month. And for a limited time, you have access to the 25-day challenge. And it's called Off-Leash by Little Red Dog. Anything else to add on that, Christine? I think you've done some of them, haven't you?
Yeah, I was going to say I did a few of the challenges, and the app is really easy to navigate. I think it would be great for all ages, human and dog. And it just makes you accountable to, I mean, we get busy, like PJ said. I think we get a little bit lazy, and remembering that training should be something that you continue to do. Your dog, it's fun for your dog to be have those challenges and just keep sharp on skills at home and outside the house. So I think everybody should give it a try.
Awesome. If you do, Chrissy and Sam don't know about this, but I'm about to say, if you do, I'm going to let you in on a secret that I just discovered. Now, I have two Chihuahuas, and if anybody knows Chihuahuas, they don't really like, I mean, they're smart, they understand, but if they want to be reactive to every dog that goes by, they are. But I just figured out how to stop that, and I have literally eliminated that. So sign up and I will share that with you. It doesn't hurt the dog. I didn't put prong collars on. It's just an easy tip that I wish I would have thought about 10 years ago, because I've been living with this because they're Chihuahuas, but I love them to death. They're my babies. But so if you sign up, I will give you my secret weapon.
I want to hear this.
I will tell you, but not here. All right, guys, have a great weekend. Thanks for tuning in. For
See you next
Christine,
week.
I'm PJ. See you next week. Take care. Bye.